Okay, so we're here and we're going to break down some of the techniques from a couple of the yellow belt patterns, Taeguek 1 and Taeguek 2. And the first technique we're going to look at is short walking stance.
Okay, so for short walking stance, so you've learned long walking stance before. It's clear this one is just shorter, all right? So I've still got one foot pointing forwards as I did with long walking stance, and my back foot is still pointing sideways at 45 degrees. So my feet position are the same. The primary difference is that my knees remain straight and my feet are not as far apart as they are for long walking stance. So that's the main difference.
Good.
So the way that I would practice this is I could start out in chumbi, I could have my hands on my hips, and I could simply move into short walking stance. I could do it going backwards. I could also do it in a circle like I would for my long walking stance.
Yep. And practicing backwards is better if you have some Michael Jackson on at the same time?
Absolutely, but some do it better than others.
Some do it better than others. So when we get to yellow belt, there's a couple of new blocking techniques introduced as well. One of them is Monta marquee, body block. Can you talk us through that one?
Okay, so let me start in a short walking stance for this one. The way that Monta marquee or body block works is this. I'm going to begin with my hand coming past my belt. It comes up just below my ear, and it comes in and ends up in the midline of my body. So I'll go through that with you again. It comes past my belt, comes up and comes in. On the other side, it does exactly the same thing. Past the belt, up below my ear, and comes to the midline of my body.
Great. And if we're using kind of like visualization to make sure our blocking techniques are sharp, where do we want to imagine that the strike is coming from, that we can use this to protect?
So it's going to be a strike that's really coming towards the middle section of my body, such as a middle section punch.
Yep.
And so with a little bit of distancing here, but if you can imagine a long arm coming towards me, and I would come in with a block.
Yeah, so that's a good one. And then the other block sort of introduced at yellow belt level is oval marking, which is face block or high block. Can you talk us through that one?
Okay, so for face block or high block, this time I'm going to start in a short walking stance again. I'm going to put my blocking arm down at my hip with my little finger towards my hip. For my top arm, which is the retracting arm, I'm going to put it so that my thumb is facing down towards my shoulder. And all I'll do here is that I lift up the arm, and that is the blocking arm. So trying that again. My arm ends up such that it's about 30 degrees, and you can see that it's about a fist away from my forehead. What I'll do is turn to the side, and you can see from that angle as well, it's just slightly forwards. So you don't want it too high, you don't want it too far forwards, nor too far back, because you do want to just protect your head from being hit.
And we're visualizing a downward strike coming now.
Correct.
To protect.
Correct.
Okay, great. So that's the breakdown of some new techniques introduced at yellow belt, Taeguek 1, Taeguek 2. Thank you.